All right, let's get the stream going. Today, I have a very clear goal of what I want based on, or what I accomplished based on something that I did yesterday. So, we have, wait, let's go here. Make sure everything's running. All right. All right, yeah. So yesterday and the day before, I implemented the credit deduction system from like the API endpoints and stuff. And so admins can create different AI operations, or operation costs rather. They can create, the operation itself, what it's for, give it a little brief description. And then these will get added in the code to whatever API endpoints are available, right? And so what I want to do is under the admin panel, I want to add an API management kind of panel to where you can, the owner of the repository will be able to see all of the API endpoints they created and be able to add or remove or edit operation costs to those dynamically from the app so that they don't have to like do it in the code all the time. So we're going to get started with that here in a second. Yeah. All right. So let's get going. I already changed to a new branch. I'm on Operation API Management. So let's kick off effort. I've been using Ultra Code this whole time, and I find it very rewarding. So we're just going to keep going on our same workflow. Like there's not much that we have to change. I've been able to one-shot features off the rip for pretty much everything that I've done. So let's see if we can continue on and keep one-shotting features. So let's high-level overview to our AI agent, whatever, coding assistant, whatever you want to call it, Claude, and see how far we can get on this. Oh wait, I have to open. It's already open. Yeah. I want to implement a new view under the admins panel that'll be called something like API management, to where any API that is in the code is listed in there brief overview, like a description of what it does and its status. I want it to be able to be adjusted from public to private, like publicly accessible to internal, or vice versa. I also want to be able to add operation costs to them dynamically, probably in a drop-down or drop-down or something like that within the list view of, or card view, or whatever view is best for the APIs themselves. That way, repository owners, once they create the API endpoints, they don't have to be locked in code-wise to operation cost. They can dynamically change them on the fly and create new operation costs from the admin operation cost panel, and then go back in to the API management and swap those out, and it'll change in real time, so it doesn't need new code deploys for those changes. I also want to make one quick update to the, actually, see, this is where we could open a new workspace. So we'll just go here for now. And then I actually want to do that in parallel. So I'm going to go into a new window. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this part on Claude. And I'm going to go into code. We're in Launch Soku. We're going to go off of stage. And I think we'll do a new work tree. We'll see. What is this? 41% left on the plan. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But I want to make a slight edit to how the operation costs are created and consumed. Mainly the way the operation name is classified. So right now it's like object.notation, with the current ones being in there like ai.comments.classify or ai.competitor.analysis and so on. I don't want the repository owner to have to create those manually. I think that it should just be a name. And then the operation key should be generated based on that. Obviously, the operation keys should always be unique, so there needs to be guards and checks for that along the way. But yeah, in the operation cost modal pop-up during operation creation, it should be an operation name instead, and then maybe in some subtext below the input box, it will automatically and dynamically create the operation key for them to view as well. All right, let's kick this off. Let's kick this off and see what this does inside of I'll run it. So it's nice. So we're running the design gate first, So I'm thinking it's gonna go through our whole always allow. I'm thinking it's gonna go through our. Yo, what up, Abdul? What's good, dog? Welcome back. I'll run to the design gate. So I think this is gonna go through superpowers. And I actually, before I started this, I wanted to check out oh shoot. I wanted to check out skills MP before I started this. Oh, they changed the UI. Weird. Geez, it looks worse now, in my opinion. But they did get rid of the const, which always annoyed me. It was const skills equals a number here, and obviously const is immutable, and obviously this value changes as time goes on. Anyways, I wanted to try out caveman. If that skill is in here. Yeah, I wanted to try out this to see if it actually saves tokens and stuff. But I didn't install it before. So, well, maybe I'll do that next time. Actually, you know what? We can just go ahead and install it now. Come back in here, another cheeky little panel. Can you try and open my website again? Yeah, I can try, but it'll probably get blocked by Cloudflare again. All right, well, it's in there for now. It won't be picked up by Claude because I have to restart. I have to restart the this terminal, and I'm not doing that right now. So, but yeah, I want to change this because I don't want, like, this is not very intuitive to a non-technical person to have to do it this way. They would likely do like AI, OpenAI Whisper or something like that, and then it would break it under the hood. So doing two things in parallel right now, one in like the terminal locally, and then the other with actual Claude Code desktop. Okay, how should the operation key be generated from the name? Existing keys are dotted multi-segment, yes. And the current validation requires at least one dot. I didn't know that, actually. Dot from name plus namespace prefix. Operator picks namespace. Dot join words. Simpler but single, like transcribed, need a dot rule, relaxed. Kebab case dashes. Operator picks a namespace, e.g. AI. Dot join words, no prefix. Name, comment, classify, comment, classify, simple but single word names, transcribe, need a dot rule, relaxed. Yeah, I mean, we could do this, I think. Once the key is auto-generated, can the operator override it and edit it? I think it should be editable. It doesn't seem that difficult. This adds a friendly name. How do we handle the name field and existing rows? New name column plus backfill. Name is created. No, it's definitely stored. Okay, that's actually good to know. So I've never used it, and all I've seen is like social media posts about how it's great and stuff like that. And so I kind of wanted to test it myself. It's not in this or in this yet. So I like these features won't be affected by it. I just added it for like next time. I'm glad you said that though, because like that's like awareness that I didn't have. I probably would have figured that out very soon. And it's like, honestly, like my workflow, the thing that like how I do things is already pretty dialed. And so I would probably be able to sniff it out pretty quickly and like delete it from the repo, but I wanted to test it out anyways. So we can get rid of this little cutie. All right, cost model API source visibility real time. Okay, you describe creating costs in the operation cost panel, then swapping them out in API management. Should a cost be reusable, named catalog entry that many APIs reference, or stay a number edited per API? I don't understand this question. You describe creating costs in the operation cost panel, then swapping them out in API management. Should a cost be reusable, named catalog entry that many APIs reference, or stay a number edited per API? Can I chat about this? I don't really understand what it's saying, because currently how these work is I create these in the UI. I could create them in code too, or in the database or whatever. And then I can then go into the code. I then go into the code and add this classification to an operation, right? And so it could go in here, in apps, API, source, app module, no. Where are you? Oh, modules. I meant idiot. We'll go. AI service. Why am I not using Claude Code inside of VS Code? I am. It's this one down here. But I don't use the UI version, like the plugin. I don't like it. I like working in the terminal more. By the way, I wanted to ask you about your skills. I remember that you installed a bunch of them. Wanted to hear if that helps or not, and the naked prompt is better from your perspective. Honestly, in any project that I'm working on, I try and get skills that are as close to the technology that I'm using as possible. Meaning like in here, right? If I'm using Vercel, let's just say, for example, Vercel, I want to find skills that Vercel made themselves. Let's see. So the Supabase made this one. Ouch. But Vercel made these, right? Vercel Optimize, right? Vercel React View Transitions. Vercel is built by Next, which is built on top of React, whatever. So I'm going to use any one of these that I think is applicable because it's by Vercel. Same thing with like Neon Postgres. Because I use Neon in here, anything by Neon, like I'm gonna use when it's applicable to my code base, because I'm using a skill that the technology that I'm using made for the technology that I'm using, if that makes sense. And obviously, like I'll create my own skills along the way too, based on, you know, one-off things, or say repetitive things that I do. But I try and find skills that are really close. So, for example, mine in agents or Claude, the same thing, but agent skills, I guess you can't see all of them, but I use Playwright, right? And so I got these from Playwright. I use Railway, so I got these from Railway. I got these from Vercel. I can't really show you which ones are from who quickly, but that's kind of like my methodology to using skills. Obviously GitHub from GitHub and stuff like that. Hog GLI, Hog LI, which is from PostHog. Like this is their skill. And they made this. So yeah, that's what I do for skills. And I find tremendous success with just this simple thing, dude. Agent skills that connect and correlate to the technologies that I'm using, and superpowers for brainstorming, and just one big long explanation of what I want to do. Like yesterday, I one-shotted a very big feature. The day before that, I one-shotted a very big feature. The day before that, I one-shotted a very big feature. Today, I'm probably gonna one-shot 2 big features, right? Because even in Claude Code, always allow. Even in Claude Code Desktop, this is actually new. I'm just trying this to see if it can do it in parallel to something else I'm working on. Which these 2 things might conflict because I'm changing an underlying API thing about this, maybe, but I think it should be fine. So we'll see. I do wish that I would have done dangerously skip permissions on this though. Reusable costs. I still don't understand this question. You described creating costs in the operation cost panel. I already did this. So costs are already able to be created. They're the credits system that already gets deducted. I don't want to change anything about that underlying system other than the naming conventions. Again, users should be able to create a name instead of Did this not paste in there? Chat about this. I forgot to push enter. So the underlying operation deduction system or cost system should not really be edited. We already have the code in place to be able to assign the amount of credits to be deducted on the different operations these are, or the different API endpoints these are added to. All I want to change are the naming conventions. Wait, let me just make sure. Wait, let me just make sure I know what I'm doing. Cause am I mixing up my created and consumed mainly? Oh, this one's the name. Okay, I'm an idiot. See, that's why it's hard for me, honestly, to like have 6 different terminal windows open, because it's like, dude, what am I working on? Like, which one of these am I working on? I want to implement a new view under the admin panel. Okay. Okay, let me see what it's asking me now. quick map what's behind each question so you can point me wherever's fuzzy. Cost model, catalog versus per API. The question is whether a cost is its own reusable thing. Your words were create a new operation cost in the operation cost panel. That phrasing implies a menu of named costs you pick from per API. The alternative is simpler but means the cost is just a number living on each API with no reuse. API source, auto-discover versus curated. You said any API that is in the code. The literal reading is auto-discovery and the code is a source of truth. And the list populates itself. The tension today is there are only 7 hand-entered rows and every, 7? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hand-entered. Hand-entered rows and every API in the code could mean 7 metered API operations or every HTTP route. Universe, you mean? Yeah, this is actually a bigger feature. Real-time, mostly setting expectations, cost, visibility changes already apply to the next request with no deploy. What's in a row? One API operation like generate text, one HTTP endpoint, one whole service integration like a concrete example of row you expect to see what resolves the question. No, it's just for the, yeah, this last question is for super users. Yeah, so these are very helpful questions. This is my vision. Under the admin operation cost panel, there's already operations that have been created that have operation keys, credits enabled, and a description. The API management panel that we're creating today should only be accessed by super users, just like every nested route under admin. Yo, what up, Tali? And the API items that are in that view should be HTTP requests. The drop-downs that I was referring to are a list of operation costs such as ai.competitor.analyze or ai.embeddings that come from the operation cost database table. I would assume we need a new database table for API endpoints, for HTTP endpoints, so that we can keep a running tab of like which ones are available. And those should have the applicable fields inside of them for what gets passed in during runtime. Passed in during runtime. I think I'm thinking of this as a very feasible thing to do in a semi-real-time environment, to where if a super user goes in and changes, or if the user goes in and sets a new operation cost to an HTTP request from the operation cost table, it would then automatically update and then any user that was going to use that API endpoint will then be charged the new operation cost credits. What's good, Tolly? Is your weekly limit already exhausted? Buddy's coding like 24/7. Allow once. Yeah. Name column, migration backfill, shared. One pure, yep. So this is, instead of this being, this is exactly what I wanted. Instead of this charge credits being hard coded like this, I want it to be dynamic, right? So 33%, that's insane. I don't, that's crazy. I must be doing something wrong. I must be not coding enough, dude. I mean, in my defense, like, I'm usually only using this stuff when I'm on stream. So like 2-3 hours a day. I got nothing running in the background. I have a couple stuff running in the background, but it's nothing like crazy. All right. If you approve, I'll stamp. Okay, let's go check this out real quick. Let's make it bigger because I want to. Operation cost now has a name, which is new. Operation key. I think it's going to go update. Yeah, create and persist name and operation key. I don't think we need the name though. Update accepts and applies name. Operation key is never patched. No change to charging interceptor cache, decorator or ledger. For the API, it says create persists name and operation key is the authoritative uniqueness guard. Update accepts and applies name. Operation key is never patched. No change to the charging interceptor cache, decorator, or ledger. I think that the operation key is still the value that needs to be passed in to the API endpoints. Name is just a super user facing value that has nothing to do with the underlying API or credit deduction system. It's just a way for the super admin or super user to create a friendly looking name to reference versus the dot notation object. Okay, cool. Name is pure display label, and the operation key stays the only identifier in the API endpoints and the charge credits decorator. And the cache lookup and the ledger ever see. Nothing in metering path ever reads name. Okay. One more small addition to this spec in regards to the operation cost is if an API or if an HTTP endpoint or HTTP request references a non-existing operation from the operation key, we need to take that into account and service or serve that error to the user somehow. Otherwise, it's just going to do a 500 internal server error. So we need to take into account if a API request, HTTP or otherwise, does not have a valid operation key, whether it's been depreciated, paused, etc. We need to surface those errors to the user, both in the, what is it called? Credits demo? Yeah, both in the, oh no, this not, dude, was I not talking this whole time? That's so annoying. Oh, sweet, I copied it though. Well, actually, we'll just do that and see what it gives us. Let's go over here. Tali, I don't know if you were on stream or not yesterday, but I got the demo version of the credit system, like the credit deduction system working. So today I'm working on getting like CRUD operations set up for API, like HTTP API management, to where, you know, super users or owners of this repository can create new operation costs. And then I want another one in here for like endpoints to be able to add these to those dynamically and not have to like do new deployments for those manually. Let's see where this one's at. Auto discover marked endpoints. Auto discover all routes. How should the API endpoint table get populated so it keeps a running tab? Auto discover marked endpoints. I wish it would give me a little description of what it means by this. Can I press? Ooh. Managed endpoint. Okay, yeah, I like this. Every route becomes a row. Get health. No, I like this. Managed endpoint. So, like code owners, like repository owners, can set which ones are available to be viewed in here by the managed endpoint, marked endpoints. Is the public internal toggle real access gate enforced at runtime or a label in the admin view? Security sensitive. Actually, I don't know if I want to do this because I'm not gonna do this. Well, I actually want to scrap the idea of the visibility toggle. That's added complexity that I don't want to handle right now. You said each endpoint should have the applicable fields before it gets passed in during runtime. I read that two ways. Metadata only, what the road needs to list, show, and charge method, path, and stable key, description, status. Also capture the request inputs. Additionally record, no, just A. Just A. See what this little cutie's doing. Okay. Let's close this real quick. Today, a decorated route whose operation key has no cost row falls open. Yeah. It runs the operation for free and logs a warning. Specifically, a newly deployed route doesn't 500 before cost is seeded. Your ask is to serve a clean error instead. How strict should the missing depreciated key case be? Strict clean error for unresolvable keys. Hybrid only for hybrid. Error only on operator. No, all of them. Silly goose. What HTTP status should operation unavailable error use? Insufficient credits already uses 402. That's a good question. Treat as an unavailable paused operation as 503 service unavailable. Signals temporary retry later. Fits paused but less so unknown key. Both paused and unknown return 409. Conflict with the structured body disguising them via the error code field. Simpler status, machine readable code carries the nuance. Pause / depreciated op. 403 forbidden, keeps today's stuff for disabled, now with structured body unknown. Yeah, like this. Should probably move this over here for now. Actually need to do something off screen real quick. Change this real quick. There we go. All right. I'm really curious to see A, how close to one-shotting this we can get, but B, if these two have like conflicting stuff. And if we can resolve it inside of our agentic feedback loop, basically. I don't know why this is saying there's 4 4,000 lines changed, or 9,000 lines changed though. That part confuses me. Okay, stamp proof. All right. So to prove that, we're going to approve this here in a second. Specs. If this works, this could be... Can you auto accept permissions in Claude Code desktop? You have to be able to, because like that'd be so annoying. Settings, general, oh wait, Claude Code. Oh yeah, right here. Local sessions. Enable remote control by default. Yeah, if this works, I could foresee some true vibe coding from like my phone happening. And I would love to like try and vibe code something from my phone, like a really big feature, and see how far it could get, and like be able to push to stage and it be like working. There's always going to be database migration stuff, but I do have a script in there that if it passes locally, then when we push to staging, it automatically runs the DB migrations, which will be helpful for solo founders and like semi/non-technical people that download this app. Oh yeah, that's right. The dispatch thing. I've never tried that, to be honest. I've got to turn this on, dude. Hopefully it runs. So I do want to check this. Create as draft. When you create a pull request, Claude automatically monitors it for CI phase. Sure, why not? We'll try that. But I did want this to be true. Allow. Oh, Tali, I don't know if you're still there or not, but the other day, like I mentioned Israel on stream. This was a couple days ago. Let me see if I can find it. I mentioned Israel on stream and like Googled Israel about something I can't remember. And the next day, photos. The next day I got some sort of ad that was in Hebrew. And I took a screenshot of it and I meant to send it to you. Where'd this little cutie go? Oh, this right here. Dude. I guess this was, what day was this? This was, oh, June 1st. It was a couple days ago. Look at this. This is on my Instagram. Like I've never seen a Hebrew reel in my life. And I guess because I guess because we were talking about it the other day. Isn't that funny, dude? I don't know what that says, but... just write /remote control in the chat and it will give you a link, or you can just open it in Claude app on your phone. Okay, cool. Nice. They're selling AI stuff. Okay. Yeah, I only took a screenshot because like I've never seen anything in Hebrew. So I just thought it was funny. It says rating the best AI tools for your business. Okay, nice. Oh wait. Okay. There are some judgment calls baked in. Endpoint key equals controller handle stable across edits, resets, active false, runs free, pass through uncharged. Orphaned endpoints are kept plus badged. Yeah, we'll just approve this. Interesting. So it's doing this for me, which is sick. Curious to see how far it gets. Do you normally use, do people normally use Claude Code Desktop or CLI or like a plugin? Or is it plugin? Extension. I have Claude work for 3 hours on a feature, 109 files, edited 2034 tests. Let's see if it works. Hell yeah, dude. That's sick. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just people online just like yapping. It's probably just for content, but it's like they keep trying to come up with new ways to like push features out. But it, like, I don't know, it's not hard. Everyone's like, oh, what's the best workflow? It's like actually a super simple one. I think as long as you have a repository set up with decent architecture, you have skills around test writing, both unit and end-to-end, skills that complement your stack, and good CI/CD pipelines, I think you could be in really good shape. To be honest, I like to work with the CLI a lot because it felt more freedom with the multi-panels, but it killed my battery, so I moved the app. It's really good. Okay. I think you were saying that about your battery like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I guess whatever works for you. Well, it's like you, right? Whatever you're doing is working for you, you know? I mean, if you can edit 109 files and mess with 2,000 test cases and it comes out and it's working for you, like that's the preferred workflow for you, right? Yeah. Let me see what this guy said. I also see your work on the high mode. I'm always using max. Okay, see, I didn't even know this. I didn't even see this. I never use Claude Desktop, so if I would have known, I would have used Ultra Code because I use Ultra Code in here. Yeah, but since trying out Ultra Code a couple days ago, I'm only using Ultra Code in the terminal. Yo, what up, Caloric? You're back. What's good, dog? What's good, homie? You feel like you should try at the end of the week if you have remaining tokens? Yeah, it's probably going to be the move. I wouldn't try it at the start of the week, that's for sure. I want to say I have like a couple days left. Mine resets on Wednesday. Settings, usage. Mine resets on Wednesday at 11 p.m. So another 2 full days basically. But I'm only at 43%. So I should be fine. I'm eating food, I'll be right back. Alright, buddy. Thanks for pulling up regardless though. Always allow. Maybe I should get another Claude $200 account. Do you just have one right now, or do you already have two? I remember someone saying they have a couple. Can you not? Do you have to use separate accounts? Upgrade plan. So you can only spend $200 a month. Adjust usage. Interesting. It's interesting they don't have like a tier system. Like why can't you just adjust it? So instead of like capping people at 200, why isn't there like a $400 option that like gives them even more discounts or something like that? Doesn't make sense to me. Maybe most users only use 200. I don't know. I mean, Anthropic knows what they're doing. So if it's not an option, it must not be. If it's not an option, it must not be in high demand, right? For people to use, for people like you to exist, Tolly, where it's like you're absolutely cranking on usage. But yeah, they are losing literally billions of dollars. Yeah, with people like you that use it to the end. Yeah, like unfortunately, they're probably betting on people not using it to the full extent. I'm pretty sure if I was using the API, yeah, using the API would be crazy work, dude. Because like I don't use the API very often. Platform.claude. Like I've used it a couple times within like this dynamic workflow thing, the self-healing, and it's like very small changes. So like yesterday it ran. Can I go look at the days? So yesterday it ran once on its own, and it was like the smallest change, so 65 cents, right? Which isn't, obviously it's not a lot of money. Go in here. Let me try and remember which PR it was. Let's go. Is PR. I want to say it was this one. I want to say it was this one. Yeah, so this right here, this one commit, let's go to this commit. This one commit that obviously it did some archaeology. It figured out what was going on under the hood, but like the output was this, like the green, right? And so this right here cost me 65 cents. Now just imagine if it was a bigger error requiring more tokens, more output. Like that would be crazy. This was a couple of, this $2.41 was like a couple of these combined on that day. So like API would be insane. Yeah, exactly. Like right now I'm running a command. I have 600,000 of my context full. That would be super expensive on the API. Yeah, that would be egregiously expensive. All right. All right, big dog. Hey, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. Good luck. Yeesh. So I think this created a new workspace on, or in this repository. Dude, we gotta make launch Soku in here. Yes. Work trees. Oh, it's a new work tree, not a workspace. Isn't this new session, new work tree? It should have created a new work tree. Maybe it just didn't push it yet. Because it's not in here. Unless it's under one of these already. No. So for reference, for anyone just joining, we're running two bigger feature updates, changes in parallel, one on Claude Code desktop and the other in the terminal, the CLI, that kind of have adjacent overlap. It has to do with like the credit system and HTTP requests under the hood. So we're going to see how close to one prompting two big features are that kind of have something to do with each other. Admin module, register the new controller as a service. All right, so that finished. And Yeah, I guess so. Oh, shoot. Systems node 14. What the hell is that? Let me push with nodes. That's insane. Are you crazy? All right, GitHub offers a okay, sweet. So let's go here. This one's not done yet. Definitely not doing that. So I actually want to push this feature branch into this feature branch when we get this one done. Wait, one note for me when you open the PR. The migration deploys via your staging endpoint locally, so I didn't apply it. Did you run the DB migrations for the local dev environment? Because I want to be able to pull, I want to be able to pull this down from remote and see the changes locally, obviously. So API management, this is still crushing, so I probably won't even be able to see anything yet. Yeah. We need to do the migrations locally for this. So it'll be in like API or HTTP request or something in here. I can't remember what we called it. Let me see what we named them. Superpowers, specs, plans. Janitor migration against direct URL. API endpoints, yeah. So we don't have that in here yet. API endpoints should be right here. So when this does finish, we'll be able to get a list of all of our API endpoints and then add these operations to those dynamically. So, the users of this code base, won't have to deploy those changes if they want to change it in real time. If they want to test out different pricing features and stuff like that, which is a fancy feature. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do, and after I'm done with this, obviously this is my goal for today, but tomorrow, or maybe even later on tonight, I'll get back on, and I do want to update the landing page for this site, because I want it to be like very, very clear on what this does and like what the benefits of having a head start on all this stuff are. Like, yeah, sorry, the hard part's already done, but what are the hard parts, right? The AI tokenization system, like the AI credit system, is huge. Like, that's a massive code/time saver for people who are even, moderately technically savvy and below. So it's a pretty big feature. The API management is a pretty big feature, which has a migration file, but it loaded the env from your main checkout since the worktree has no env files. I only touch dev. Your local DB environment is now in sync with the schema. No, I don't want you to open the PR. All right. Let's see. What'd you do? Is authored but not applied to any DB. I deliberately didn't run any migrate given the staging landmine. It deploys. Run the database migration for local dev so I can see this working in the developer environment. So if we go here and I refresh key, probably still won't work, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Table of public API endpoints does not exist. Which, this is in stage, this is in devski. Yeah, it's not in there. So we need to add it. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just locally, dog. We already got. It's just a dev environment. I do have to bounce pretty soon, though. Oh, okay. Just waiting for this to get populated. right, well, regardless, we can do this. Get status, get add, get commit, commit -m, API management, whip, get push key. And because I need this on remote so that I can push the other branch into it. I need this on remote. Wait for all this to pass, which is like local checks. Okay, I think it did it. API endpoints. Yeah, nice. So it added them. So now if we go here and refresh key, should be able to see. Nice. Very, very cool. Exactly what I envisioned it doing. I'm telling you, dude, I don't know. Other people, I'm gonna talk my shit real quick, dog. Other people like to yap about like the preferred workflow, and it's like all this stuff and all these like concurrent agents and launch 50 agents to do XYZ. It's unnecessary. For SaaS, for products that you're building on like web or mobile, it's just unnecessary. You have your repository, you have your architectural design system set up, you have your CI/CD workflows set up, you have your skills that complement the internal software that you're using, and you have a very robust system for creating feature planning docs, or feature spec docs, or whatever you want to call them. They're both. It complements each other. That tells the LLM exactly what to do. So for reference, at the beginning of this session, you can go back and look. I chatted with Claude for 7 minutes, maybe. Like maybe 2 paragraphs worth of text. It's like, hey, dude, this is what I want. Oof, don't do that. This is what I want. And, you know, after some questions and answers, some refining, some defining, we came up with this big spec doc, 500 lines of code, 500 lines of text long, a planning doc, some back and forth. It did a bunch of stuff. I didn't do anything. Like, I've been sitting here this whole time. Go back and look on stream. I've been sitting here waiting for this one to finish, and so now I can come into operation costs. So let's actually see this working in real time. So if I maximize this little guy, right? So I have AI comments classify costs 20, and an API management, AI comments classify, just remember that. And in here, it's that same one, right? And it's using the 20 credits. Now, if I go into credits, which is like the demo, the demo project, and do classify comments, it costs 20 credits. I wonder if this will update. Ooh, that's an interesting. I wonder if this will update when I update the other one, or if this is hard coded. Let's run that. All right, deducted 20 credits. Now I have 1980 instead of, 9,800. So we had like our credit balance here, so we can see that it's all correct. So 9,820, now it's 9,800. Now what happens if I go into admin, API management, change this to this, I guess, save it, saved, cheeky. Hopefully that goes away. It doesn't stay there forever. Because that's, honestly, I hate that UI. Anything that changes, anything that makes like the container bigger and like kind of static things is not good UI. So that needs to be changed actually. It should be like saved in here and then go back to disabled save. Anyways, back to credits. Let's see if this updates. Okay, so this is still 20 credits, which isn't the greatest. So we'll need to update that. These should be dynamically fed. Because I'm guessing this is, I mean, it's got to be hard coded. Label a batch. Okay, so let's run this. Hopefully it's 200. Okay, so this is hard coded, but this, the actual log, is 200. So it was 1980. Sorry, I keep saying 1900. It was 9800. Now it's 9600. So these two values are just hard coded. So we need to go back in and tell it to update those and these right here. This is just for demo purposes too, for like the owner of the repository to see how the credit system works. So it's not like the biggest deal in the world, but those need to be dynamic, right? All right, one quick change that we missed during the feature spec doc is on the credits page where super admins can go and test the API endpoints for the credit deduction system. Under the try the meter API section with the cards, the credits are hard-coded, and so those need to be filled dynamically based on whatever API endpoint that's testing. Also, for what is this called? What is this component called? This component is called demo operation. The demo operations under defined operation, those, it says reserve 20, settled, debited 20, balance, whatever. The reserved and debited values are also hard coded, and those need to be, dynamic based on the endpoint and operation costs that was selected for that endpoint. That's pretty fire though, I'm not gonna lie about it. As far as like back-end functionality, like the actual HTTP requests working, the CRUD operations for API management working, like there was 2 little UI things that needed to change in there. Other than that, it's fire. I like this a lot, actually. So I wonder what happens actually if I go API management and go to AI comments classify and deactivate it. I'm curious what this does. If in the credit system it'll also do that, because I just disabled this one. It should fail. Okay, it did fail. This is mocking the request though. This is mocking the request. Yeah, this is mocking the request and returning this based on the mock. But you can see in recent activity, it didn't log that new entry because it didn't actually run. So even though this said it settled, it's doing that based off of mock data. You know, this didn't update, this didn't update. So we'll need to add that in there too for the new disabled API endpoint. Because if we go in here into network, run it. Yeah, it's just mocking, it's mocking the API call. But I like that it's not charging it based on the mock, which is dope actually. So now we're just waiting for this to update. I did push this already, so we're gonna go back into GitHub and feature operation, what's it called? Feature slash oper. Do we not push this? Did we not push that already? Oh, I'll probably just have to refresh. Operations API management. There's going to be some conflicts in here because it's adjacent work. So we're just going to create pull request, see what the conflicts are, and try and resolve those real quick. Yeah. Current change. We're gonna need incoming change. Only one? Not bad. All right. See if all these pass. This is still thinking. Yeah, I need to actually go. Whenever this finishes, I'll merge this feature into this feature branch and then pull it down, and so we can see the new operation cost naming conventions right here, because like this is not non-tech savvy friendly. That's silly. I didn't think about that when I was writing this feature out. Also, today is chest day at the gym, boys. It's International Chest Day for the second day in a row, in fact. Which means it's always chest day. Which isn't true. I actually did legs yesterday. I took off from the gym a couple days, so like 2 or 3 days in a row. I want to say I didn't go Friday nor Saturday, but yesterday I went. So, dude, literally this guy always calls me when I'm on stream. Almost every time. While this is working, I'm going to pick this up real quick. always call when I'm streaming.
My bad.
No, you good. Where are you?
I'm headed back to Lindale right now.
I need to pull up to Lindale while your sister's in town.
Dude, you need to soon because I think it's summer and fall are gonna be leaving within like a few weeks now.
Yeah, I messaged her yesterday and asked when they were leaving. Apparently they're leaving sometime in July.
Yeah, pretty relatively early on. Last time I asked them, they've been trying to get me to go to Kenya to see see Shiloh and Matthew,
Uh-huh.
but the tickets went like the first time they asked me, the tickets were like 700 for a round trip, which was like insane.
That is
And then
insane.
they hit me up and they were like, "Yeah, now it's like 1,700 now
Oh, damn.
for a round trip." I'm like,
That's
"Yeah,
impossible.
yeah." No, I was like, I love her a lot, but like,
Not that much.
not that much.
Why is Summer going to Kenya just to visit them and then they'll go back to Laos or something?
Yeah, so it's on the way to Laos. One
Cool.
of the guys that like supports them, but like also is the head of their coffee shop in Laos,
Mm-hmm.
actually lives in Kenya. So,
Okay.
which is like good for them because they can see him, and then
No, it's all good. Just like he's a good dude. He's one of those guys where it's like, sorry, I was just on the phone for anyone just joining. One of my buddies always calls me when I'm on stream for some reason. Like he doesn't know that I stream, I don't think. And he's one of those dudes where you gotta, I don't know, gotta make time for the homies. Gotta answer the phone calls, you know. So this failed, but I think if I refresh in a second under the hood, this is probably gonna try and self-heal because of my little system that I have set up. I need to do a better graphic and like show UI wise how this works. But I think if I refresh and give it some time, maybe Claude should try and auto fix this. I believe it may only be on if I try and merge into stage, maybe. But I think this should self-heal, especially like with an end-to-end test. Yeah, this just didn't get updated, and so this should self-heal in a second, I think. All right, so this finished also. So while this is cooking, or while I think it's cooking, let's go back into API management. And we'll turn this back on just for all intents and purposes. And we'll go back into credits. And so now it should say 200 in the middle one versus 20. No, it did not. Do I need to do any? Oh, it's not done yet. I thought it was done. So we're switching these out for non-hard-coded values. This one and then the one below too, which we'll see in a second. I thought this was done though, but it's not. Also, I'm in love with this UI, by the way. Like, the colors, this like yellowish green color, yellow whatever, and the purple, and the dark, and this color red. I'm in love with this UI. It's atypical, right? It's like different than what everything else you see out there is. Everything's so generic nowadays, and like you can tell when it's being written by AI. So I don't know, I just try and do things a little bit different. Obviously I'm using AI to write this stuff, but I don't know, be unique. Be unique with stuff, you know? All right, let's see, is this gonna self-heal? Ooh, it did, see? I told you. Don't know why it said attempt number 2. That's a little bug somewhere because it didn't try and fix it the first time. Or there wasn't a number 1. Unless it did and it didn't push it. So let's go in here actually to, I love this so much, dude. And y'all are seeing this real time. So y'all saw it fail earlier in real time, this guy right here, and it was the end-to-end test. I didn't look at it, I didn't copy or paste anything. And now it's running again, and hopefully this one passes. So this one passed earlier and this one failed. So let's go look at platform.claude and go look at this usage, I guess. We should have one for today. Is this today, the 8th? Is today the 8th? Yeah. So today, this cost, dude, can I, token usage, where is the cost by day? Is it this? Spend? You can tell I'd never come in here. 57 cents. So it's 57 cents on Sonnet 4 to, let's hopefully fix this bug. So instead of, like, for anyone wondering, like, what does this solve? Like, it did it in the background. And so at a normal dev shop, you know, this might be passed to a junior engineer, maybe the senior dev. Oh, dude, that's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So for anyone wondering, like, what does this solve? Like, okay, cool, big whip. And it's like, oh, but you have to pay for it. 57 cents for an auto-healing bug that would have taken a developer, let's just say, the same amount of time, 10, 15, 30 minutes. Developers are usually like 70 bucks an hour. Yeah, so just say 30 minutes. So that would have cost a developer 35 bucks. But this cost 57 cents. I don't know, to me that's fire. So now I can just go in and merge, merge this into the feature branch. So into this one. So we're Gucci. Confirm merge. Now I'm almost positive there's gonna be, I don't know why, boys. This gets me psyched out of my mind. I know it's pretty simple. It gets me psyched out of my mind though. All right. So where were we? Oh, we're going, so this is done. Everything's green. API test week passed. So we can go back into here. Okay, now it's 200. Now it's 200 right here. Wait, it was 20 before. The UI auto updated because of the changes. Want me to commit the whole feature now, the API management work plus this credit demo? No, I don't. Let's refresh real quick. And run this. And these values down here should be updated as well. All right, reserved, which went to settled, debited. Now it's 9,400. This one ran again, 9,400. So let's go into admin, API management, just to verify. Let's change this to 150. Save. I think this is going to break when we pull in these changes, but whatever. Credits. 150. Run it. $150, $150, 925. Perfect. All right, let's go and pull these changes in from the other branch. Git pull. Hopefully there's no conflicts. Okay. Nothing seemed to break. Git pull. 39 reused. Your local changes to the following file will be overwritten. EDE test. Stash them before you merge. Aborting. So I don't think it did it. But it was just an end-to-end. API management. Operation cost. Add operation. Yeah, it didn't do it. So let's git commit dynamic UI updates. Git push key. It might give me some errors in here when I try and push, but maybe not. Also, I want to see what this does. If I change the value here to say 140, because it was 150 earlier, save. Saved, and we'll go into credits. Hopefully this is 140 now. 140, perfect, love it. Any verticals this SaaS will be aimed at? Not particularly. This is for anyone who wants to build a public-facing SaaS application that's like a web app. And I'm thinking about adding like modules in there for phone, for like mobile apps, but maybe not, I don't know. But so this feature of this boilerplate is for people who have an idea that they want to use AI in their SaaS for. So like, let's just say, for example, was like this, AI comment analysis. And so your app will like pull in, comments from YouTube, let's just say. And you want the users of your app to be able to push a button and classify those or whatever. That's going to use AI under the hood. And you don't want to have to force them to give you their API key or give the platform their API key. So it's not bring your own API key. You're going to use yours for them as the service. So it's kind of like a wrapper. And so you'll then decide how much to charge for each of these operations, each of these AI operations with the token system, which is similar to like what a lot of the companies do, right? Like I always bring up 11 Labs because it's a good example. 11 Labs. Like you could build 11 Labs on top of this architecture with no problem. Obviously, you have to build out the features, but they do tokenization, right? You buy credits, and for each thing that you do within the app, depending on what it is, it deducts those credits. So this app, like what I'm building, solves all that hard deduction stuff for you, but also makes it to where you can go in here and edit your own operation costs. Like it's not a fixed cost, right? That's not good software. Good software isn't hard coded. Okay, we did run into an error here though. You said wait, public, so customer portals and shit. You gotta explain what you mean by that. But yeah, like your customers will be able to see, they won't be able to see this admin panel, but like, it's hard to differentiate what, I should put like another panel down here where it's like demo. But for example, if I was like a normal user, I wouldn't see admin. I would just see like the dashboard. And like, this is a feature. This is a feature. This is a feature, let's just say. I need to come up with mock features. And so like this is a feature of this app where if a feature is gated based on a subscription tier, like the users can't see it. So you don't have to write that business logic under the hood. Like it's all done for you. All you gotta do is what the landing page says, is build features and not infrastructure. So, I don't know, it's freaking dope. It's actually pretty dope. It gets the non-technical and even semi-technical person to 90% of a SaaS app. %90 of a SaaS app within a day, like within 24 hours. All you got to do is run some deployment scripts and put in your environment variables, and that's literally it. Got you. I'm a CRM architect, so kept thinking of this as an internal use case. Yeah, it's hard to differentiate. It's hard to talk about who this is for in regards to like end users. My end users of this are people that want to build their own SaaS applications. Their end users for their own SaaS could be anything, you know? Their users could be, yeah. My end users or my end customers or whatever you want to call them, people that might be interested in this, is someone that wants to build something like 11 Labs. But theirs are like me. I don't use 11 Labs, but if I did, I'm 11 Labs user kind of thing. That's cool. You work on CRMs though, dude. What do you think about Clay? Clay is kind of like next level CRM. All right, what happened here? We failed some tests, I'm sure. What does this say? Rejected, failed to push some refs, rejected because the tip of your branch is behind. It's remote counterparts. If you want to integrate remote changes, get pull before pushing again. I did that. Get pull. Overwritten. Let's come in here. This guy. Please commit your changes. I thought I did. Git status, git add, git commit -m. Dynamic UI updates. Okay, now git pull. And we'll have a conflict, which is fine. You have divergent branches in need. No, we are not. We are currently at 0 MRR. I'm still building this, dude. I don't know. I'm just having fun. Are we at 10K MRR yet? Well, the hard part with this app is it's not going to be like, it won't be MRR for this. For this, right? This is just like a one and done thing. And like, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to monetize this off the rip, because I'm just kind of having fun building it. And any of the homies, especially like on stream or whatever, that want to use this, I'll probably just give it to them. At least for the first like 20 people, maybe. Get some helpful feedback and stuff like that. But then the app that I'm building after this will be like the MRR one. But I can't foresee a business model where I could charge monthly for this. Right? I'm just gonna, if I do sell it, if and when I do start selling like license to this software, it'll be like a one-off. It'll be like, I don't know, $397 or something. Why didn't my Nightbot run? Free sniper. Why didn't my Nightbot run? It was supposed to respond to you. Is he sleeping? Is my Nightbot sleeping? It was supposed to respond with this. Silly goose. All right. You can do so by running one of the following commands. I always get messed up with rebase, dude. Git config pull. I'm mostly dealing with enterprise platforms. Clay's a bit like a glorified data enrichment service / power sheet. I'm 80% Salesforce, for example. Yeah, you're right on that. It's for Clay is for data enrichment for sure. Just like different workflows within tables, right? For like a certain contact or a certain company or something like that. So you're probably an Angular. And what does Salesforce use on the back end? Go? Do they use Go on the back end? Or is it Python? You're probably Angular Python, aren't you? All right, I need to get pull. Always forget. I need to specify how to reconcile them. Java and Oracle? Oh, damn. You must have been around for a while, no? I don't know most most developers that have started within the past 8 years, 9 years since I've been coding at least. Most of them don't know Java. I didn't know that. Salesforce has their own language, Apex. I did not know that actually. Very interesting. This project seems really cool. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. I'm just building this infrastructure for myself for my next app. And I figured if I'm going to start, streaming and talking about software and stuff, might as well build the boilerplate that's reusable. For myself and any of the homies that want to use it too, so. All right, so let's go in here in operation cost. Hopefully, I have the name field now. This is probably because it didn't backfill. So if I go back and look at the database and I go to operation cost, ID, operation key, created at name. Okay, they are in there. The names are in there. It did backfill it for me, which is gnarly. So what's going on here? Is valid name raw.trim. Let's just to make sure, pnpm install. I know I don't have to do that every time, but I do. pnpm dev. Let's go restart the dev server just to see if it's anything that got lost in the build process. Go back here to admin. A operation cost. It's probably gonna fail again, but that's okay. Oh, it didn't. Yeah, it was just a build thing. All right, so now we have a better UI for naming operations and not forcing repository owners to do the dot notation types operation key. So they're created based on the name. So if I wanted to change this, ooh, this is scary. Since I've been working in AI competitor analysis, let's just keep working in this one. Let's just do competitor analyze, competitor analyze, and analyze. Jeez. Let's save that. Sweet, saved it in here. Let's go back into Neon. Refresh this. It didn't rename it in here. What happens if we go? It might. Wait, where'd that go? Oh, I named it dot analyze. Competitor analyze. Let's do that. Ooh, no. Save. That delete button needs to be smaller, because that's scary. Well, it didn't change the operation key, which I guess is fine. But it does need to change the name in here. Unless I'm changing the description on accident. Am I regarded? Because it changed this one. It's just not changing this one. Did it actually save it? Okay, it's not saving it. It's saying it's saved, but it's not. That's a little bug. But if I come in here and add a new one, okay. I think there's some stuff missing from yeah, this is why I don't like working at two features at once, because like things get confused. Let's check out operation cost. Oh shoot, it's 3. I gotta bounce. I do have to bounce. I'll have to figure this out later. Yeah, okay, I need to make a mental note that save isn't working. Okay, I merged in a feature branch into this feature branch called, I'll just run this right before I leave. Operation cost name keygen. Operation cost name keygen, and there are some bugs that have occurred since merging into this feature branch. One of them is that modifying a name of an operation and clicking save does not actually save it in the database, even though the UI displays it as saving and saved. So it needs to actually save when it saves, and if it doesn't save, it needs to show some sort of toast or an error or something. Also, while fixing this, create a new toast component. So instead of printing the saved notification in the table row, we should just create a new reusable toast component that shows at the top left, top right of the screen for any types of notifications. But use this saved one, or the error or whatever is returned from this as the first one to use. Also, the second bug is when we click the add operation button to create a new operation, we get the following UI error and bug. We'll just copy all of this and paste it in there. I did, but Caloric, I did do the Nightbot, but apparently it didn't run when Free Sniper asked. It ran earlier. Like 30 minutes ago when someone asked. He asked, "What are you building?" and it did it. But then this guy asked the same thing, "Yo, what are you building?" and it didn't. So I wonder. I mean, I think I know what it is. I think I set it up to the first word. Oh shoot, the first word needs to be what, and so he said, "Yo, what are you building?" So it doesn't take that into account. I don't really know how Nightbot works. I worked on it for literally 4 minutes, and so I need to take into account if someone just asks what and building maybe. Anyways, I do need to bounce. I got to get out of here. I'm like a minute late to something I have to do. I would say it was a moderately successful session. We basically one-shot 2 different features in parallel, but merging them caused some conflicts. So we're fixing those now, and hopefully I might jump on later this afternoon or this evening, but yeah. Cheers for one-shotting big-ass features. I appreciate everyone joining. Thanks for keeping me company. And yeah, we'll see you either later tonight or maybe tomorrow. Peace, my homies.